Thank you, ma'am, for the kind introduction. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. You know how each one of us has our own catchphrases? If not catchphrases, some simple principles that they live their lives by. For me, these are three simple words: trial and error. I have lived most of my life with these three words. To give you an example, as a kid, I was a very anxious person. I used to freeze in front of meetings, in front of interviews. I don't know how many panic attacks I must have had before this right here. My family saw that in me, and they ensured that fear did not stay with me for way too long. They used to make me order groceries on phone, order for medical stuff on phone. They also created an email ID for me, and I used to chat with my friends on Yahoo Messenger. Gen Zs out there who don't know what Yahoo Messenger is, it was the most early form of chatting with friends. And we used to have really weird email IDs back then. Slowly and steadily, I moved past that fear. Then came a time when I had to decide on my career. I thought, let's give CA a try. I chose a traditional route. I gave CPT, got good marks, gave IPCC first attempt, failed, second attempt, failed again, third attempt, failed again. I realized, do I really want to do this? So I thought, let's work under a CA and see if this is what really interests me. After 6 months of working, I realized it was the most boring job I've ever had. No offense to any CAs out there. Then I realized I still have 1 year of my college left, so let's take this opportunity and let's start a passion project on the side. I saw my mom as an opportunity. She's a very creative person. She's MA in tabla, she paints, she knits a lot. So I suggested to her, let's make a brand out of it. This was back in 2015 when social media brands were not a thing back then. So I thought, let's do this. I told her what products to make. I figured out how to do content creation, photography, social media marketing, website making, e-commerce, logistics, everything by myself. In that 1 year of my journey, I learned so many skills on the field. I made that brand profitable. And I thought, if I can do so much by myself, what can happen if I have a mentor around me? If I learn more of these skills on ground with bigger brands? So I joined an agency. I started as a copywriter intern. Within 6 months, they promoted to become an account manager. Then came my next fear, pitching to clients. I still remember my first pitch meeting. My boss had asked me to make a presentation over the weekend and prepare for the meeting for a Monday afternoon. I spent my entire weekend with the team. I made the presentation. Monday 3 p.m. is the meeting, and I froze in that meeting. My poor boss, she had no idea what I had made, and still she ended up doing the entire pitch by herself. And of course, I got a lot of yelling after that, and she made me go to all the meetings alone after then. 3 years later and 50 meetings later, I became a very confident manager who could be so sure that I can create marketing strategies, execute them, and deliver it to the client how they want it. I ended up with a portfolio of about 40 plus clients in those 3 years of my life. And I realized, I think I can learn something more. I'm done with all of this. Now I'm feeling very bored. So I gave education another try. I thought I'll do MBA. But still that urge to keep working never left me. So I started consulting a few companies on the side, especially startups, because I have a very soft corners for all the entrepreneurs out there. I think they have a lot to figure out in the first few years with very minimal costs in their hand. And it was very, I was very passionate about them, and I ensured that I helped them in any way possible. During that entire process, I came across a very interesting project that my two friends were working on. They used to run a YouTube channel wherein they used to do a lot of detailed player analytics of all the Indian and international cricket players. They used to talk about a lot of data analytics, their past performances, make predictions on the future performances. Somebody who has watched Moneyball must know what I'm talking about. During that process, there was this one player who reached out to us saying that if you make a report card like this for me, I'll be able to get into a better club or into a better league. We realized, wow, that's quite interesting. So we sat with the data, we realized that in India, all the data is maintained on pen and paper. There is no form of digitization out there. This is back in 2018. We realized this is an interesting problem to solve. Let's research more on this. We were on YouTube one day, and we came across this live stream called Borle Premier League. It's a very district city level tournament that happens near Mumbai. There were a couple of teams very casually dressed who were playing. We saw their setup. It was like a single camera setup with a lot of wiring, lot of hardware, one entire table filled with a lot of equipments, 2 people doing something or the other on the camera or on the laptop. We asked him what this process is like. Please explain to us. We realized that capturing content and data at grassroots level is so expensive that these people are not able to afford for professional tournaments. For recreational sports, it's still easier because you're paying from your own pockets, but professional sports don't have that kind of privilege. We saw this as an opportunity, and we thought, let's work on this more. My 2 co-founders, engineers being engineers, they thought, let's solve this with the tech product. They developed a very simple one, a browser-based solution, wherein you can just pick up your smartphone, log in from that studio, and stream any sport or any match that you want. And you can just update the scorecard right there on the screen. In the first month of the company, we streamed 52 sports across 3 weeks. And we got such excellent feedback from all the parents because they had never seen their kids play live on their mobile phone. This gave us an interesting opportunity. Did you know that 99% of the sports matches in the world have no form of coverage? Because live streaming is difficult and expensive. This is the reason why so much talent is hidden or has gone lost, because there is literally no coverage out there. We took this opportunity, we built a product, we went to the market, we raised some money from the investors. 6 months of our journey, the COVID hit. We thought that, is this a dead end? We realized, no, let's make this product even more scalable. Let's design a solution where not a single human has to go on ground. We developed that entire solution. We got a camera that needs only one-time setup. And as of today, we stream matches from 27 countries without a single person stepping out of their Mumbai office. This is a very recent picture. Everybody remembers this. We won the World Cup. Yeah? This was a very glorious moment for all of us. But do you realize how many years of hard work and how many people and how much of potential has been lost to achieve this? So many tournaments they must have played which had no form of coverage. So much of performance analytics were done with no technology available out there. Imagine so much potential we must have lost in all other sports apart from cricket just because there is no form of coverage at grassroots level. This is what we want to solve for. For people who don't understand a lot about sports tech, I will try to explain to you in as many easy words as possible. So imagine there is a sports match happening in Australia. You figure out what kind of camera do you want. Usually with a racket sport, a single camera is okay because the camera has to just go left to right. So you set up a camera, you set up internet on the ground, you log in into a solution. This is what the input feed looks like. You put scorecards live. You need to have one person who is continuously watching the match and updating the scores. As in when the scores are updated, the graphics are also appearing on the screen, as you can see on the third one. There are a lot of replays that we show which are also automated. Advertisements are automated. You just need to punch in this ad needs to show up at this time for these many seconds. Highlights are generated automatically without a single human opening Premiere Pro on their PCs. Commentary also has an AI element to it. Today we have multilingual commentary just with the power of AI. All of this we have made possible over the last few years with a lot of feedbacks, with a lot of trial and errors. The impact that this has created is so much that so many players out there are getting a platform where they're seen, where they're heard, and where they're getting selected from. One most beautiful example that I have is of this tournament, Brahmaputra Volleyball League. It's a small volleyball league that happens in Northeast. Thousands of players participate at district level, school level, university levels. They come together and they play this league for about 3 months. Back in 2022, these guys reached out to us saying that, hey, we have such a tournament. We have around 500 matches to be streamed, but we don't have that kind of money. What can you do for us? We told them, why not give us some of your students? We will teach them how to use our solution, and you can stream it by yourself free of cost. They gave us some 18-year-old kids who were also players, but they also wanted to learn this on the side. We taught them how to do this. As you can see here, they made tripods out of bamboo sticks. They made risers out of bamboo sticks. They also made a few tripods out of plastic bottles. That is the phone that they use. You can see the solution that they're using. And they streamed around 500 matches in the first season. Today, this tournament has increased 2x every year. Today, the participation is about 1,500 players in a single season. This fellow, who was an 18-year-old intern for us back then, today calls himself as a sports broadcaster on LinkedIn. In fact, now he's chief of sports broadcast. And he's recognized by a lot of news portals and a lot of big federations out there. Imagine, because of this one person, how many players are getting visibility, how many matches are being streamed, and how many opportunities are created just because this person took that initiative with us. Similarly, there is another good example that I want to give, a sport which is very close to our hearts, Kabaddi. India has always been a cricket-first nation, but they always forget that we have so many indigenous sports out there, but people don't care about it. We thought Kabaddi is one of that sport that we want to support. Back in 2021, we partnered with 3 federations of Kabaddi. As small district as Raigad has 15,000 players registered just in Raigad. We partnered with 2 districts and 1 state federation. We started streaming their matches. 3 years later, again, the participation has grown 3x. And this is the only sport where women and men have almost equal participation in a sport. In fact, today, this sport also gets sponsorship. This sport also gets a lot of placement opportunities in bigger leagues. In fact, the most favorite example is a 16-year-old girl who we scouted 3 years ago. We kept streaming her matches, and today she is the youngest female Kabaddi player in the Nationals Kabaddi team. That is the impact that we are talking about. This has been the story so far. We have streamed more than 375,000 matches. We must have profiled more than 2 million players. In a single day, we have streamed 1,000 matches. That's a lot for a day. We must have given opportunities to thousands of players and thousands of commentators, broadcasters, scorers, data analysts, whatnot. We still hire a lot of youth out there because covering 120 cities in India is not easy. This is all has been possible because of the power the youth has. They came, they supported us, they became the part of the ecosystem, and they helped us scale. But of course, this was all not easy. There were a lot of trial and errors. Imagine streaming in 40 degrees of heat out there. Imagine streaming in crazy rains in Mumbai. Imagine streaming with no internet support, no infrastructure. But still, we did not leave that thought that every single match needs to be streamed as much as possible, of course. When I look back, I realized the trend. Choosing a different career, choosing a different kind of company to work with. By the way, I'm not even a sports person. I must have tried kickboxing for 1 year, and I left it because I got really tired of being hit by different players. But still, I continued to do this because if not us, then who? To conclude, you don't have to follow the path that's already laid out for you. You can build your own, one curious step at a time, and of course, with a lot of trial and errors. Thank you.